everyone, welcome back to the Going Zero Waste YouTube channel. I'm Kathryn Kellogg, and today I'm going to give you seven tips for you to go zero waste when you live with your parents. So I don't live with my parents, and I did not go zero waste while I still lived with my parents, but I did start going zero waste while I lived with roommates. So I kind of understand a little bit about not being able to do everything 100% your way because it's not 100% your space. And I'm married, so I live with my husband now without roommates, thankfully. It's very nice not to have any roommates. But still, I don't get to have everything go my way 100% of the time, which sounds nice sometimes. But I know a little bit about what it's like to compromise. And of course, if you still live with your parents and you're still in high school or middle school or even younger, then you don't have control over the family budget. You don't get to dictate how money is spent. So it can be challenging to implement some zero waste lifestyle practices into your daily life. So I'm going to give you a few things that you might have control over that hopefully will help you live a more eco-friendly way. So the first thing is to bring a reusable water bottle with you. So I think that as you're leaving the house, hopefully you'll be able to have a reusable water bottle, or you'll be able to ask your parents for one of those, and then you can fill that while you're at school. You can drink that at lunch. You can bring that with you to sporting practice or to your hobbies like piano lessons or voice lessons, and you can take this water bottle and bring it with you wherever you go. So that's my first tip, is to, if you don't have a reusable water bottle, ask for one and then explain to your parents how it will save them a lot of money in the long run, because then you won't have to be buying single-use plastic ones in the future. Number 2 is leftovers. So if you do have a mason jar, maybe you can save a pasta jar or something that was used for cooking dinner. Or if you have a Tupperware container at home, maybe you can grab one of those Tupperware containers before you go out to eat with your family or with your friends. And then as soon as you finish your meal, you can load it up, put it in the Tupperware container you brought with you, and that way you can avoid a styrofoam or plastic tray. Number 3 is lunch. So if you pack your own lunch, then maybe you can choose reusable items over disposable items. My mom packed my lunch for all of high school too. So that's kind of embarrassing, but also like, I'm so appreciative. Thank you, Mom. I had the exact same lunch every day from the time I was in kindergarten till the time I graduated high school. Every single day I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, chips, a drink, and a little Debbie snack cake. Same lunch. Fond memories. I don't eat peanut butter and jelly as much as I used to, though, because I think I did burn out on it after, having it for a very long time. 12 years? 13 years? But yes, so if you do pack your own lunch, or maybe you can chat with your family and ask them about investing in reusable items, getting a reusable lunchbox. I remember in elementary school, oh my gosh, I loved getting to go pick out my lunchbox at the beginning of the year because, it had the design on it that I wanted it to have. So maybe you can chat with them about, using these reusable items, because in the long run, it will save them money. Of course, that means that you have to actually remember to bring it, take it home, unpack it, things like that. So you will have probably a little bit more responsibility, but I definitely think that your parents would probably be open to having that conversation. Number 4 is experiences. So growing up, for birthdays or Christmas, my parents and family would always have me make a list of things that I wanted, and then they would choose from that list. And so I encourage you to, if you are looking for any of these items, maybe you can ask for them for your birthday or for your Christmas. And then of course, asking for experiences with your family instead of things. So maybe instead of asking for, a new pair of sneakers, maybe you don't need a new pair of sneakers. Instead, ask like, hey, I would really like to have passes to the museum, or I'd like to have passes to the water park so I can go with my friends. And that was a great present that my family often gave me. It would be, we had a water park in town, and so instead what they would do for my Christmas present, my parents would buy me a pass and a guest pass, so that way I could go and I could bring a friend with me. And so it was a great way to have an experience as a gift that I could experience all summer long while they were off working, and I could hang out with one of my friends. It was a really great gift, and I didn't actually have any one thing that I received, but instead had a great, great fun time. The fifth thing is thrift shopping. So instead, when it's time to hit up that back to school sale in the fall, instead of going to the mall with your friends, maybe go thrift shopping with your friends, and you can find some deals of some new styles that are in that maybe you want to try, and you can have fun secondhand shopping. There are also a ton of sites for secondhand shopping too, so if you are looking for really, really specific items and you're not able to find them in the thrift stores near you, then you can check those out instead. Number 6 is beauty products. So while I couldn't really add food to the list that I wanted to eat growing up, I could always dictate which beauty products that I wanted to use, and like my shampoo or, you know, my deodorant or something like that. And so maybe you can add some of these things you want to the list. Maybe your parents will let you put that on the grocery list. So instead of using maybe conventional deodorant, maybe you want to switch to a more natural one, and maybe they'd be willing to buy that product for you, or a more natural toothpaste brand, like you could use Tom's and use the TerraCycle program, or maybe even use David's that comes in a steel tube and you can like recycle the tube. So maybe there are some options for beauty products that you could either DIY or potentially get your parents would accept being on the grocery list. Number 7 is rent formal wear. So I remember we definitely had a lot of formal events in college and high school, even middle school. There were different events that we had, and typically it involved dressing up, and it would be so much fun. So instead of going out and buying a dress that you are probably only going to wear 1 to 2 times, instead maybe try and rent a dress. And now you can, with Rent the Runway, I mean, you can rent some really amazing dresses, which will of course save money, and you don't have to worry about having the dress and what to do with it, you know, several years down the road. Or you can of course have a dress swap with your friends. There's a lot of options and ways that you can get around having to buy so many dresses. Number 8 is to get involved. So I know that for me, and when I was in school, we had to have community service hours. I'm not sure if that's the same for you, but if you have to have community service hours, I think it would be great to get involved in an organization that you're passionate about that has to do with the environment. So maybe you join a local organization that helps pick up litter, or one that works on, you know, preventing trash. I'm not sure what organizations you have in your own town, but you could of course join up with them, and I think that would be really great. Also a really, really great way to get involved with your family too, so that way they can see it's something that's really important to you, and it's something that you're actually actively participating in your day-to-day life. I think I got off count number-wise, or maybe this is a bonus. I'm not really sure. I don't know how many tips we have here. I'm gonna count at the end of this, and we will add it up and figure out how many tips that we have. But the next one is to just talk with your parents. Is to talk with your parents and tell them why this is important to you. Tell them that you want to protect the environment. This is something that's really meaningful to you, and they might not understand at first. They might kind of poke fun at you or like not get it, but I promise if you keep at it and you keep doing it and you show that it's something that you're passionate about and something that's truly meaningful to you, they will come around. I promise they will. They might not understand it, and they still might not personally get it, but if they can tell that it means so much to you, most likely they will still accept that. And something I learned that my dad said to me a really, really long time ago, because I was like in the 5th grade and I loved Pokemon, and he of course did not care at all about Pokemon. He took me to go see the Pokemon movie, and I was so happy, and I was like, Dad, didn't you love that movie? And he was like, no, not really. And I was like, well, then why did you go? And he said, well, because you love Pokemon, and I wanted to show you that I care about what you care about, even though I don't particularly love Pokemon. So it was just a really nice moment. I thought it was a really good lesson that sometimes we do things for the people we love, not because we love them, but because they love them. Hopefully your parents will feel the same way, and that even if they don't get the whole environmentalist thing, they're still going to be willing to make small changes or do small things for you that helps you fulfill your passion and your dreams. So just sit down, have a good conversation with them, and then be willing to take responsibility of trying out something new. So maybe you want to try a zero waste grocery haul. Then it might be your responsibility to ask them if you can try it, and then ask them if you can do the grocery shopping that week. Or maybe that's taking on packing your own lunch. Or maybe that's, if you want to try out a new DIY cleaner, it means you might have a new chore. So just also be willing to take on some responsibility for helping to make these changes around the household and smoothly transition and show people how easy it can be. So those are my tips, however many there might be, for going zero waste when you live with your parents. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. press that big red subscribe button to be notified when new videos are coming out, and I will see you next Wednesday with a new video. All right, bye.